Yeah, let me first start by just big picture stuff, which is really hard after games like this that so emotional and season comes to an end so abruptly at home. Uh, but we got four really special young men who are seniors in this program: Evan Batty, Elijah Parquet, Will Laughlin, and Ben Ursek. And all four of those kids have represented this program so well on the court, off the court, in the community. And I'm so proud of them, and they're going to be great, successful people as they move on in their lives. They're going to be great family men, and so I got to. Sometimes you got to look at that, when it's all said and done, and understand that's part of this process. Obviously, the game itself was disappointing. You got to give St. Bonaventure credit. They were the better team tonight. They were the tougher team tonight. They were the better executing team tonight. They were the team that didn't want their season to end more than we did. And I told our team at shoot-around today, the team that wins this game is going to be the team that does not want their season to end more. Now, assuming we both don't want our season to end more, who doesn't want it to end more? And it was St. Bonaventure. They jump out to a 10-2 lead. All four of their first baskets were things we talked about at shoot-around. The first play of the game, they got the dunk. We walked through that, talked about it, watched it on film. Got two transition baskets, one layup, one wide-open three by their best shooter. We talked about that before the game started. I mean, it was and we weren't locked in mentally ready to play tonight for whatever reason. And that's something I've got to look at myself. Maybe I didn't do a very good job getting our team emotionally ready to play tonight. Maybe I just took it for granted. I didn't take St. Bonaventure for granted. I promise you that. Neither did our staff. Our team was prepped on how good these guys were. They were warned about their toughness and their ability to execute, and we were not good enough defensively all night long. That team came in our building, shot 53%, 52.7, 50% in the first half. We couldn't get stops. That's a helpless feeling when you're just trading baskets. We're up 3 at halftime because our offense was good, and we made shots in the first half. Guess what? Second half, we had too many empty possessions down the stretch, and we had 2 shot clock violations, one in the first half, one in the second half. That in itself tells you that your team is not mentally ready. You should never have a shot clock violation March 15th. You might have one November 15th when your offense isn't kind of gelled yet. You're still working on things, but not on March 15th. That tells you right there that our team was not mentally ready to go tonight. And that's disappointing. And that's on me. That's on me as a coach. So I got to take responsibility for that. But I wanted this season to continue. I wanted this team to get to New York and experience Madison Square Garden. I've experienced it as a player. I've experienced it as a coach. These guys won't. That's disappointing to me because I know how special a place that is. And maybe St. Bonaventure will get there. I don't know. They're a good team. They're well coached. They got good players. They're tough. But we weren't. We didn't live up to our end of the bargain tonight. Our fans did. Tuesday night, 9 o'clock, student section rocking. Fans were great. We lost 6 games in this building this year. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. So I'm angry because the season's over with, and I didn't want it to end because I love coaching this group of guys. But we've got to look internally as a staff. We got to look. Every player that's returning has to look internally because we did not meet the standards at Colorado basketball that we've set for ourselves, and that's not a good feeling. It's a long opening statement, isn't it?
I know they have a really good defensive player in the middle there, but what was happening that took, they really were able to take Jabari out of this game?
Yeah, I mean, he's a great shot blocker. We knew that coming into the game. We talked about it. Jabari didn't have his best game. Jabari made some really good plays for other guys tonight, though. I mean, he really did. I thought, I didn't even see his line, but he had 6 points, which is not him. 2 for 10 is not Jabari. He wasn't his best tonight. But listen, the kid's been consistent all year long with 17 double-doubles, and the reason that I emphasize defense and rebounding so much, guys, is for nights like when Jabari goes 2 for 10, because there are going to be nights like that. Unfortunately, it was tonight. But, we had a good look there in the second half at the rim. Evan had a great look from 3. There's nobody I'd rather have at the rim than Jabari Walker. There's nobody I'd rather have taking a wide-open 3 than Evan Batty, the way he's been shooting the ball. So we had our chances. We just didn't make shots when we had to make shots. We had too many empty possessions, the shot clock violation in the second half, a transition turnover, another turnover. Too many turnovers down the stretch and empty possessions offensively. That puts pressure on your defense, and our defense was not up to it tonight, as we haven't been many nights this year, and that's frustrating because this was not a great defensive team, and that bothers me as a coach because I feel like that's something that I take pride in.
Tad, we were talking with Evan and Key about this, but the Bonnies really don't go much outside of that starting lineup in terms of guys on the court. Those 5 starters are used to eating 36, 37, 38 minutes of the game. Coming out here to altitude, was it at all expected that perhaps as the second half went on that those guys would get gassed and fatigue would catch up to them?
I thought they might, but they did a good job. They went zone in the first half and to basically rest. And the TV timeouts, these ESPN2 games are like 3-4 minute media timeouts. That really is an advantage. So you get into postseason play, and the lack of depth, even at altitude, doesn't play as much of a factor as maybe it would have. But they got tough kids, and they're in great shape. When you play 37, 38 minutes a game, you're in good shape, and they were. And they're mentally tough kids. And that's the thing. Look, that's a senior. All 5 of them are seniors. I think they're all 22 years of age or older. And so they're tough. And that's what our young guys have to understand. It doesn't matter the name on the front of your jersey. They had the emotional edge tonight. We're the Power 5 conference. We're the higher seed. Guess what? Those kids they got self-respect. They got a lot of pride. And they played like it tonight. They did. And they beat us. And that's something that we're going to have to live with all off season. Home loss in the NIT. Something we're going to have to live with. I'm going to have to live with it. Every senior's going to have to live with it the rest of their lives. The returning guys got to live with it. Now, if it doesn't create a little bit of edge and a chip on your shoulder, we got the wrong guys. It better create that. This has got to be a great off season for everyone in this program. Coaches, players, managers, you name it. And
that off season, what do the next few weeks look like for you guys, and what are some things you kind of are honing in on,
So obviously the season's over with. We're going to give our next week is spring break. I'm a sit-down immediate guy, so I'm going to give them tomorrow to kind of let things digest. I'm going to digest things tomorrow, and I won't watch a film because it'll just ruin my whole day. But I got to sit down and talk to our staff about every returning player, the message that I need to give to them. I want to know what they're thinking, and I'm going to meet with every returning player on Thursday or Friday. They'll go home, spring break, whatever they do for spring break. Unfortunately, when you have spring break as a college basketball player, it's been a disappointing year. You want to be playing during your spring break, but maybe our guys wanted a spring break and didn't want. I don't know. You'd have to ask them. I didn't, but so I'm gonna meet with these guys immediately, and then I'll meet with them again when they come back from spring break, because they'll have gone home, talked to their families, and we'll kind of get a game plan as we move forward, and then we'll start our off season lifting and skill work and development. I mean, the off season starts. It starts for them tomorrow. It can't start for me tomorrow because we have to give them so many days off. Got to look at the compliance issues that we got to deal with, and so we'll. But they deserve some time off, and whether we had spring break or not, I would give them a week for sure. Mostly because I have to. But anyway, it was a good year. It was not a great year.
Ted, you've been preparing for the farewell to Evan Batty for some time now. end always comes abruptly.
Yeah.
But just what are some of the emotions now having to say farewell to that guy?
You know, it's funny. I'm like empty with the emotion right now. I know how much I told Evan in the locker room how much I loved him, and he reciprocated it. So I mean, my relationship with Evan is going to be rock solid as we move forward for the rest of his life. You know, I always say when we recruit kids, this isn't a 4-year decision, or in Evan's case, a 5-year decision. This is a 40. It won't be 40 years for me because I won't be alive. But for the rest of my life, Evan Batty has got a friend, an advocate, somebody that will do anything in my power to help him. And that goes for every senior as well. Evan's not the only one, but what a special kid. I didn't want it to end like this. You know, I would like to have won. And, you knew it was going to end at some point over the next couple of weeks, but I didn't want it to end. So I think Evan's a little bit numb too, quite frankly. As an emotional of a kid as he is, he's a little emotionless tonight. I saw it on the floor and I saw it in the locker room. It's not like him, but what a special young man. Evan's so unique, and I've talked a lot about him. But what makes him unique, I think, in today's day and age is he is such a competitor, but he's such a gracious sportsman who has empathy and compassion, not only for his teammates, but those that he plays against. That's really, really special. That's very rare. I probably haven't done enough. I've given him a lot of superlatives and said a lot of nice things about Evan, but I was thinking the other day, that's what really makes him different than most guys. It just does. He's always positive. And look, St. Bonaventure, congratulations to them. Evan Batty would have never done what their players did to an opposing student section at the end of the game. I'm not mad at St. Bonaventure. Look, you won the game. Do what you want to do. Evan Batty would never do that. That's what makes him special. He's positive. Yeah.
Just on that with Evan, one of your better recruiting classes with Evan and McKinley and Deshaun was here tonight.
Yep.
And to have Evan kind of pass that down to what was a really strong recruiting class. I know the freshmen had a lot of injuries this year.
Yep.
But to have him just on campus to pass that down, is that just such a huge thing for the program, having that passing down ability, I guess?
Yeah, I think I've said since I got here 12 years ago now. I'm interested in building a program. I think we've done a good job of that. I'm not interested in building a team. I don't like the transfer portal. Not saying that we'll never get in it. We might be in it this spring. I don't know. We'll see what happens, right, with my year-end meetings with our guys. But I want, freshmen to come in this program and learn from the juniors and the seniors. We had no juniors this year. We had seniors. We had a great senior in Evan. So, yeah, I want those young guys to learn and to carry on and to have the pride and that's what a program's all about. That's what a culture's all about. And we've been able to build that here. And I don't want to get into we're going to sign 4 guys, from the transfer portal every year and just try to, everybody says get old and stay old. I mean, yeah, I get that, but I don't want to make a habit of that. I want the young guys to get better and improve, and I think they will.
Okay.
Thank you.